Hey, this is Sean from Club Fed True Stories. This video is all about my food service job at the ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. Have you ever heard of the ADX Supermax? It's the most secure prison in the entire world. And I'm going to tell you all the things that get stolen out of there every day by inmates who work at that prison. So I was an inmate, not at the Supermax. I was an inmate at a satellite camp nearby, about a mile away. I did a 52-month sentence for wire fraud. Watch my other videos, it talks all about it. So I filed tax refunds for homeless people and drug addicts, got them back all kinds of money. Government wants all those refunds back. Turns out $1.7 million is the amount of refunds I filed for people. Now, I didn't get that myself. I took a 20% cut, me and some of my friends, and anyways, they froze that, and anyways, I gotta pay everybody's refund back now. But I've done my prison time. That's behind me. When you get out of federal prison, they put you on federal probation for 3 years. So I've been out about a year. I got 2 more years to go on that. I'm making these videos, hopefully to help people not make the same mistakes I did. But there's a lot of people out there facing prison time. They're on pretrial. They've been indicted. They're going to get indicted. Their house has been raided. Their office was raided. A lot of white-collar criminals out there. A lot of drug dealers, too. Your house got raided for drugs, and you were carrying it across state lines because you went from New Jersey to New York. Well, that's a federal offense now. So these videos are mainly for the non-violent kind of people that go to camps and go to lows. I can't speak for the penitentiary guys. That's a whole different class of criminals, which I don't know much about, and I don't think I would have survived in the penitentiary. Thank God I only went to a camp. But if you are like me and you're non-violent and you're looking at some prison time, hopefully my videos will help you. If you please subscribe, hit the bell, the notification, hit the bell until it says all, and you'll get all my new videos. In my description below, if you hit the description and then hit the read more, my description opens up. I got all kinds of links to help you get through your pretrial on character reference letters to the judge, to your family, and sample letters, how to get an RDAP, how to send money to inmates, how to send mail to inmates, how to do emails to inmates and save money on that, and everything's free, how to calculate your sentence, how to find out if you're going to a camp, how to find out how much time you're going to get. It's all in my description. There's links below. About 25, 30 links, and I keep adding them all the time. My phone number's down there too if you have any questions. I just got a call. I've been getting calls lately and comments lately, and I love it. And I answer every comment back. And there were some parents concerned about their son who actually is at the same prison camp I went to, and I guess he got caught with a cell phone, and he's in the SHU now. And so they had some questions, and they're hoping he comes home on time. And you get caught with a cell phone. Sometimes nothing happens. The SHU's full. I've seen guys just nothing happen. I've seen sometimes people get 40 days good time taken away. That's usually the worst. But to get in a camp, you got to have 11. You can't have more than 11 custody level points. And I just did a video on the level point. But that has to do with your age and your criminal history and things like that. But you get caught with a cell phone and you got 9 points. Cell phone charge could be 3 points. Could just move you up to 12. They're going to send you to a low. Hopefully that doesn't happen to this guy. He's supposed to get out next month, so I think he will. Anyways, any comments, please leave them, and I'll be glad to talk to you. So this video is all about the ADX Supermax. It's also known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. So when you go to when you're an inmate at a prison camp, they got all kinds of jobs you do because we don't have fences, so we're allowed to go in and out of the prison camp. Some guys go to town, some guys drive people to airports. There's all kinds of crazy jobs we do outside of prison, and one of them is we go about a mile away to the ADX Supermax and we make the trays the food, or cook the food, make the trays, scrape the trays, clean the trays for people like the Unabomber, the Boston Bomber, the Shoe Bomber, the Oklahoma City Bomber. The Oklahoma City Bomber, one of them still alive. I think Terry Nichols is alive, and the other one, McVeigh, he got killed. One of them died, one of them still alive. El Chapo's there. Now, I never met the inmates, okay? We don't, hey, El Chapo, I got your tray, here you go. It doesn't work like that. All the food we make is put in these big hot carts, and they're pushed out a special door into a hallway. Another guard comes, and they push these carts down, and they deliver it. A guard once told me, I said, asked him what it's like. He was a guard who actually will feed the Unabomber and feed El Chapo, and it's all done through slots in the door. And I asked him if he ever had conversations with the Unabomber and all this. He goes, yeah, we do, but it's only open for like 20 seconds and stuff. And I asked him what his job was like, actually working with the inmates. He said he felt like he was a underpaid butler. He says, all we do, I guess they have a button or they bang on the door. All they do is go back and forth, and they need a piece of paper. They need hot water for their coffee. They have a question for this. They have a question for that. Apparently, they bring them ice. They'll bring them hot water. If their pencil needs sharpening, some inmates are allowed to have pencils. They'll sharpen it for them. Back and forth. He goes, some inmates are allowed to shave. We give them the razor blade, and it's on. It's hooked to a big cable, and we have to sit there and watch them shave. Some inmates aren't allowed silverware except for when they eat, so they have to return that. It's funny. I remember seeing. You ever heard of a spork? It's a plastic fork and spoon combination. Well, at the ADX Supermax, there's 3 or 4 types of levels of inmates. There's even a step-down unit. Some of those guys are going to get out. Maybe they got a 30-year sentence, and they're down to their last 4 years there. They go to a step-down unit where they actually can come out of their cell and go to a little day room and talk to each other and eat their meals with each other. And those guys are given a spork there's 3 types of weighted sporks. There's like a really super one you can just, it's real flexible, right? So you can't melt it or anything like that. Now, that's the one they're going to give to, like the Unabomber or maybe El Chapo. But the guys in the step-down, they'll get a more firmer spork. I just kind of tripped on little things like that. Some of the guys actually, well, I'll get into that in another video, which I don't know where I was going with that. I don't want to just, anyways, so my first day at the ADX Supermax in food service, this is what happened. I had already worked there for a year in the culinary school. Another video I did on called Supermax Chef, and I got a culinary certificate, and I got a professional restaurant management certificate and a Serve Safe certificate. It's all from Pueblo Community College, which runs a culinary course inside of the ADX Supermax next to the kitchen, and that took about a year. And so that's another video. So in the rest of the food service building, the end of the ADX Supermax is where I worked. So in the morning, I go to work at the Supermax. I walk out of the camp, out of the main door. I wait in the parking lot with about 30 other guys. A van picks us up. Guess who's driving the van? An inmate just like us. There's no guards around. We all get in the van, 10 at a time. He drops us off. He goes back, gets the other 10. When all 30 of us are at the back gate of the ADX Supermax with the 2 fences, and there's a gate in the middle, and there's a metal detector, and we all get frisked. And we go through the metal detector, we go through the second set of gates, and then we get let into the food service area. And the first thing you walk into is a big warehouse, and this is where they store all the food. So that's one of the jobs. We had the top of the line equipment. I was really surprised. We had 2 big long grills. The grills were at least 20 feet long that we grill the food on. And there was a new type of Teflon material that just came out a couple of years ago. Before a grill, you could scrape it, it'd get dirty and stuff. But this has there's a new type of food grill, because I've been in the restaurant business. And it's like a chrome grill. And it was really shiny and really easy to clean, and nothing stuck to it. And they told me, yeah, this is the top of the line stuff. We had big giant ovens. I mean, we had big cook big, 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 what do you call them? Big giant frying pans, big giant everything. Because we cook for 400 or 500 people a day. There's a dish room. There's a pots and pans room. There's 4 sets of walk-in freezers and walk-in refrigerators. And I just did a video on how this female guard got caught having sex with one of the inmates that I knew in one of the walk-ins. Watch that video. I think it's called Sex at the Supermax. Scandal, something like that. It's a true story. Yeah, there's a lot of females that work at the camp and that work at the INMATES Supermax. The first thing I noticed when I first started working there at the INMATES Supermax was the way the guards treated us. Now you would think these are the same kind of guards that's going to watch over El Chapo and the Unabomber and all that. And when it comes to the campers, they treated us really nice. And I even asked them, like my 3rd day there, I go, why are you so nice to us? Is there something, what's going on? You're almost too nice to us. You treat us like somebody that I go to work with every day in a restaurant. And they told me, well, that's what it is. We work with you guys every day. And we work right next, and a lot of times they work right next to us. And they said, we know you guys are campers. We know you're nonviolent. We know you're all getting out. Anybody at a camp's got 10 years or less. And they said, it's either get along with you or treat you like a Gestapo, nothing will get done. We choose to treat you with respect and like a regular person. Now, you mouth off to them and all that, they'll throw you right out. They picked and choose who worked at the Supermax. You also got to have a special gate pass to work there, a special classification. They don't just let any camper go in and out of the Supermax. You might have an uncle that's in the Supermax. You might be, you might have some kind of ties or affiliation with somebody in there, and they're not going to let just anybody go. So I guess I was privileged. I had a gate pass. It takes a while. It took about a month to get classified for the gate pass. So here's a bunch of the jobs that we do in food service. So you got the warehouse guy, and he's the one. So a truck comes almost every day with deliveries, and I'm going to tell you the food at the INMATES Supermax, I was always jealous. These guys eat really good, and I've seen some of these other prison videos with inmates that have been released from the Supermax. They all say how good the food was, believe it or not. These inmates, the Unabomber and the Boston Bomber and the Shoe Bomber, they get a bad tray, they're going to write you up. They got nothing but time on their hands, and they do write-ups. They have no problem writing up how bad the food was. So, and the guards make sure, the guards know a lot of these guys are never getting out, and they know they're in this solitary square cell with nothing. Well, they get a TV, and I used to get jealous. They get their own TV. Man, I want to be the Supermax. No, you don't. But yeah, they get their own TV, but they really have no communication with the outside world. Any letters or mail they get comes on a TV screen, on their TV screen. They don't even get to hold the paper. Some of them have privileges where, like I said, some might get a pencil and a pen. Other ones, they have to be. They just don't get their. I don't want to go there. Some of them are treated really bad. But the food, we made sure the food was really good. The guards would get on us if the food was bad. And they order really good chicken breasts and chicken thighs and real beef. Wednesday's hamburger day, we got really good hamburgers. All the guards would come and eat the hamburgers, the same ones we feed the inmates at the Supermax. They got hot, crispy French fries. They're all put in this hot cart, and it's at 180 degrees, and they get their food within a half an hour after we make it. It's in 180 degrees food cart. Thursday is chicken day, so they get a huge quarter piece of chicken, okay? And sometimes it's the breast and the wing, and sometimes it's the leg and the thigh. It's got seasoning on it. It's been baked. A lot of times it's mashed potatoes and gravy, or it's a sweet potato. They would get maybe coleslaw with that. They would get green beans. They'd get a dinner roll, or they get bread, and they get butter. And they never got butter. It's always margarine. Every day they get dessert. They would get an ice cream. They would get a Rich's. What was that? The brand called Rich's, and they make these chocolate cream puff things. I can't remember. But we got like real brand food in there. Oh God, so they'd get a brownie, they'd get a piece of cake. We even had a bakery there. And one of the jobs is the baker, and he would make these cakes with frosting on it, with cream in the middle of the frosting. He'd go out of his way to make sure they got, a good cake. I mean, we made carrot cake for them. Every day they either got a cake. What do you call those riches with the cream in the middle? Puff roll things. Anyways, it's driving me crazy. I can't think of it. It'll come to me. Chocolate eclairs. That's what it is. Yeah. That brand, Rich's Chocolate Eclairs. Because they bought those a lot for those guys. I know because I ate a few of them. The ice cream they got was Breyers. And it was a pretty big half-pint size one. So they always got dessert. They always got milk with their breakfast and milk with their dinner. And for lunch, they got juice. Another job is veggie prep. So there was like two guys. They had a special room where all these guys did was chop vegetables, chop lettuce, because they always got a salad. And the salad that we made for them would have cucumbers, radishes, tomatoes, green peppers, lettuce, the red cabbage, and the dressing wasn't bad. The dressing we had at the camp was this kind of weak ranch dressing or this light Italian dressing, but the ranch dressing that they bought for the Supermax inmates was really good brand. Like Hidden Valley ranch dressing. So they would get that. They'd always get the salad. They had two trays, a hot tray and a cold tray. So let's take a typical Thursday as a big day. They get their quarter piece of the chicken. Let's say they get a breast and a wing, get mashed potatoes, they get gravy, we got coleslaw, maybe cornbread that the baker made, and they got their Breyers ice cream. And then in the cold tray there would be salad, there would be the dressing, there would be carrot sticks, there would be, I'm missing something here, the cornbread I guess went in the cold tray. But they got pretty good size serving. I mean, if we ever did anything wrong, they would write us up. And then we had to go make them a new tray and bring it to them. We had to make up for it. So they ate really, really good. Chicken fajita. I used to help make the chicken fajitas. So this was chicken breast that we would season up. We would cut it up on the grill. The real chicken breast comes in big bags with onions and bell peppers. And we toss it all up on the grill. We put it in these pans. It's going to go on the tray. They get 2 corn flour tortillas. We made real salsa from scratch with cilantro, tomatoes, and onions, and squeezed lime juice in there. They got real cheese there. They never got the fake shredded cheese. They'd get a scoop of the cheese with it. They'd get corn. Chicken fajitas was really good. I think we got that maybe 3 times a week. There was a chicken fried rice dish that at the Supermax, it was really good. At the camp, we're lucky to get chicken in it. But the chicken fried rice was fried rice with chicken again, with soy sauce and Oriental herbs and stuff on it. We grill that. It'd have celery. It would have bell peppers. It would have some carrots. What else goes in fried rice? Scrambled eggs. And they got a really big portion of that. So everything we made at the Supermax was really good food. All the guards that worked there ate the same food that the inmates ate. When we did serve the food, there's a big, long assembly line. And even the guards come out and they work with you. And the guards actually worked really hard there. I was surprised. They take a lot of breaks and they smoke a lot of cigarettes. And they'll drop the cigarettes on the ground and kind of don't care if you pick them up. That was one of the little perks there. There was a guard that used to give us cigarettes once in a while. Not going to mention any names. And made sure that we weren't going to be checked on the way out with them. So anyways, everybody works on this big assembly line, and we make the trays up, and they go into the hot carts, and it's a hot cart and a cold cart. And they go down the hall, and they're distributed to Unabomber and the Boston Bomber, and all those guys eat. Then carts come back full of the dirty trays. Now, here's where you gotta get nasty. Some inmates got some real reasons to be upset at the world. And you might go to take the tray out because you gotta scrape the tray, and then you gotta rinse the tray, then you gotta put it on this machine, and it's gonna wash the trays, and then they got to be stacked and put away and then used again. And there might be some kind of things on that tray that you don't want to know about. We throw the tray away. We don't wash that. We don't clean it, and it happens. And you get some pretty disgusting things on a tray. I mean, these are guys who are gonna die in there, and they got who knows what reason why they had to put something on that tray for us. But you know, you get over it. And that's where the first job you get is the tray scraper. And once in a while, you get a surprise. You see some Unabomber droppings. Anyways, yeah, I started there, but I ended up cooking at the end. And the pay's not too bad there. Starts off about $40 a month, and then once you've been there and you work your way up to there's grade level 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can get about $160 a month. Like there's a butcher. Next to the veggie prep room, there's the butcher room, and this is the guy. He's gonna slice cheeses. He's gonna slice the meat because like if it's like chef salad day, they get sliced turkey, and they got a real turkey breast, and he's gonna slice off turkey slices for them. It goes with the chef salad, and their chef salad is huge. It comes with everything to make a turkey sandwich and a salad and homemade soup. So we had these big pots that they cook in, and I know we had to do vegetable soup and cream of potato soup, and sometimes they did a seafood chowder soup, and they were all really good, all made with fresh produce, fresh ingredients. We had lots of herbs and spices over there. I'm telling you, the food was really good at the 88 Supermax. I mean, believe me or not, I'm telling you it was, and I'm going to tell you it was. So, another job over there is so some inmates want special kind of dishes like diet dishes, low sodium dishes, kosher dishes. And then you got your halal meals. You know, that's the Muslim meals. And so they have a guy that specially made those. And those are usually ordered out, and they're brought in their kind of like frozen dinner type trays. But he cooked everything in a special room. So one part of the day you do the Jewish, the next part you do the Muslim, then you do the low calorie and the low sodium, and so those were done by a special guy. I think he made $120 a month for that one. Another job over there was there's a maintenance guy that used to come through, and he'd fix the showers and the bath and the toilets or anything goes wrong in the cells. Like if the Unabomber's toilet backs up, so they call our maintenance guy, and he didn't get to meet the Unabomber, but they got to go in his cell. They would put the Unabomber in a special holding place, while this inmate guy would go fix the toilet and all that. I think he made $180. And that was a good job. What else? So let me tell you about the stealing. Okay, so. Told you they got really good chicken and really good beef and cheese and the best food, not that money could buy, but really good quality stuff. So I never took any food. I didn't steal from the 88 Supermax because I was afraid. Okay, and I liked my job there, but a lot of guys stole food out of there. Now I wasn't Mr. Innocent in prison. Okay, my thing was cigarettes. Okay, I smoked cigarettes and I never got caught. So I'm not Mr. Angel. I just didn't want to steal food. So these guys would literally take a block of cheese and shove it down their pants, chicken breasts, tape it to their shirt. Even though we're going to get strips patted down on the way out, they didn't care. Another way of stealing was, so any trash that's brought out of the Supermax to the outside world has to go through a special process. So we had these big trailer tractors outside. They had one for recycling, and then they had one for raw food and stuff, and that was like a big machine that mashed it all up and went that way. But any kind of recycling stuff, at the end of the day, they'd have all these boxes stacked up that were open from all the deliveries that came in, and in between each box, taped up and wrapped up and stuff, guys would put a whole side of beef, whole chickens, whole things of cheese, beef, any kind of fancy meats, any jalapeno peppers they like to steal, and onions and bell peppers, and then we pull all this stuff in these boxes, and then we have to take all these boxes out and throw them in the recycling bin. And now they're going to sit there for about 3 days before a truck driver comes and backs up his rig to that big recycling tractor, and he takes that outside of the Supermax and he drops it off at the top of this hill at the end of the complex where other inmates work in recycling, and their job is to separate everything into what can be recycled and what goes to actual trash. And while they're over there, they're looking for special packages, the meat, the cheese, the bell peppers, you know, and it's usually cases of stuff that these guys have stolen out of there. And these guys will separate that and they'll bring that back to the camp and then they'll sell it. But every day, guys have got chicken shoved down their pants. Yeah, see, that's why they want to steal. I'm not going to shove nothing down. And once in a while, they'll catch a guy. We had a guy called the Hamburglar. This guy started, he didn't last 3 days on the job. He knew everybody was stealing out there. This guy took a case of hamburgers. They're frozen, right? And let me just finish up with the story about the Hamburglar. My video got cut off or something, ran out of time. I'm going to tell you that in my last day. My last day, I'll never forget there. So the Hamburglar would show, he took a case of frozen hamburgers, showed them all the way down his shirt, pants, everything, man. A whole case of hamburgers. And he was new, and he looked so bad. And when we came out to go home that day, the guard just looked at him, and they all started laughing. And they said, "Come here." They said, "Do we have to search you?" And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, "Well, you got a hamburger sticking right out of here. It's like coming out of his shirt and stuff." And they said, "Undo your shirt." He under the shawl, the hamburgers fell. They're all down his pants. They took him away and they strip searched him. They got him all. They came back and said some of the hamburgers were just stuck to his ass, frozen. And they had to pull him off. He was fired. And you know what? All they did was fire him. They didn't charge. It was so funny. I mean, the guards have a sense of humor over there, too. I mean, they could have sent him to the shoe. They could have done who knows what for stealing, especially out of the most secure prison in the world. But they just had a laugh, and they just fired him. And we nicknamed him the Hamburglar after that. So from that day forward, he was known as the Hamburglar throughout the whole camp. You know, my last day there, they have a little ritual they do when you're going home, okay? So, I didn't work up to the very last day when I get released, but a week before I got released, I said, you know, it was my last day working at the ADX Supermax. So they kept telling me, even the guard said, "There's a ritual that they do for you on your last day. Be ready for it." And nobody would tell me what it was. So what it is, about a half an hour before we were supposed to all go out the door and go home, here comes two big long red we had these hoses that were red, the rubber red hoses from the dish room. Two guys come out with these fire hose type things, and they squirted me all wet. And then another guy comes and he throws flour all over me, and it sticks to everywhere on me, and I'm soaking wet. And that's the ritual. So, and then they ran off. I grabbed the hose and I started chasing them, and I got them back a little. And then I went, the guy had dropped the bucket of flour, and I'm chasing everybody around. And the guards are all just sitting there laughing. And they're watching me run around with the hose trying to get everybody. And I slipped on the ground and because everything was wet. And that was it. And then everybody kind of gave me a hug and said, "Good luck on the outside world." And you know what? All the guards came up to me and shook my hand and said, "Thanks for working, and don't come back to prison." And it was a day I'll never, ever forget. Really. I mean, I was pissed off that I was soaking wet in flour, and I had to go home to the camp like that. But it's okay. It's a good memory. And like I said, the guards were, if I walked into a bar and I saw those guards from the Supermax in there, I'd buy up all the drink. They treated me just like any loving family. If you worked at a family restaurant and the family ran the restaurant, and you know they treated you like family, they were like that. They were really good people. I got to know all about their husbands and wives and children and their stories, and you know what, they're people just like me, and they treat you with respect. I can't say how they treat the inmates at the Supermax. The guards that work in food service don't deal with the Unabomber El Chapo either. That's a different kind of guard. So you know what, it was a good experience, and now I get to make videos and tell stories about it. But don't go to prison. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Watch my other videos. And I always say, if you did a white-collar crime or you did a non-violent and you're a drug dealer and you know you're going to a camp or a low, you're non-violent, you don't have to worry about getting beat up, joining a gang. You don't have to show your paperwork. You can sit with any race that you want to in the chow hall. Believe it or not, you can, and nobody will beat you up for it. Once in a while, you need to be invited to a certain table, but that's only because that's been their table for years. But you can sit anywhere you want. You could talk to anybody you want. There's no politics like there is in a penitentiary. Little tiny politics. And you'll make it through the camp, and you'll make it through the low. So if you have 15 years or less, you're going to go to a lower camp. You're going to make it through, and you get to have a life when you get out. Okay, I was 53 when I went in. So, and you're never too old to go to prison and learn your lessons. And I've learned my lessons. If I get back on the drugs, though, who knows? So I need to stay clean. Let's stay clean, guys. All right. I'll keep working them 12 steps because they work for me. All right, love you guys.